That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther. I'm a flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther, flat earther.
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
For sound bites. This is awesome.
Welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B., and of course, Just Jack Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Sorry for my tardy, totally my fault. But we're here.
Yes, it was definitely Karen this time.
Yeah, it happens. My children distracted me with making food. I can't say no.
So we're starting a new chapter today, which the reason that it was my fault last week. I was not ready because it's not a short chapter to begin with, and even though there are words that have been defined before, the Strong's number was new. And what I mean by that is Hebrew is based on root words, usually a three-letter root, sometimes a two-letter root word. And when they decide to um, translate a word in a different manner, they add a new definition number to that word. But if you look up the word in the previous definition and look at the word in the newer definition, they're spelled exactly the same. And if you look at the root of where the word came from in the first place, it makes sense if you just use the root rather than trying to redefine it. So that's what I had to deal with a lot this last couple weeks. And so I'm not I didn't take the time to flag all the ones that I newly had to look up, but it's basically like I go back to previous times that I've translated it and used that root word and then add the prefixes and suffixes, etc., etc. But anyways, I'll read my disclaimer. To Just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scriptures shouldn't be studied at all, then this stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in to discover more, then the stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for words as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There we go. So, as we've seen, like all the way up until this point, sometimes the definitions, when they change from a previous one to a current one, it can just be like, well, I don't like the way that sounds, so let me use a different word. Other times it looks like, no, this was purposely mistranslated, for whatever purpose. In this case, I didn't see any that stood out to me, like, how dare they, translate it this way. There was nothing like that in this chapter. So this book is called Devarim, which is the words or ordered words. And it is because it says Ele ha Devarim. Okay, so ha means the, and Devarim is the plural of Devar, which is the order word. So we can get started whenever you're ready. I guess I should throw on parallel here. All right, whenever you're ready.
All right. These are the words which Moshe spoke to all Yisrael beyond the Jordan in the wilderness, in the desert plain opposite Suf, between Paran and Tophel and Lavan and Hatzerot and Di Zahav.
All right, so this is before they cross the Jordan, right? Because when they cross the Jordan, they're entering into the promised land. That's the terminology people are most familiar with. But the land flowing with milk and honey is beyond the Jordan. And this is Moshe's last address before leaving the physical plane. I'll leave it like that. So this is, him summarizing a lot. So a lot of this book is going to be looking back at previous incidences and whatnot. But there are some key things in here that were not in the previous books that it gives you some perspective of what's required of every man. And yeah, so verse 2.
All right. 11 days' journey from Horeb by way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea.
Right. So it's 11 days journey from Mount Horeb, which Mount Horeb is where it's the mountain in Sinai, right? The where they got the tablets of the 10 words. 1 second. So 11 days journey took 40 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were shown the land, so the spies went into across Yarden and they said, like, we're like crickets to them. Like, they're huge. They're going to stomp us out. And he's like, okay, this generation is not ready. Like, they don't have the right headspace. This is me ad-libbing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the right headspace. They're not ready to follow me, even though they've seen me deliver them from Pharaoh, even though they've seen me open up the sea for them to cross over, even though they've seen food come from nowhere, all these things, but they're still in the mindset, we need to go back to Egypt and be slaves, right? So they had to wait for that generation to pass on, which took 40 years. All right.
All right.
Verse 3.
And it came to be in the 40th year, in the 11th new moon, on the first day of the new moon, that Moshe spoke to the children of Israel according to all that Jehovah had commanded him concerning them.
Okay, so this is the first day of the 11th month.
After he had stricken Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, who dwelt at Ashtaroth in Edrei.
Edrei. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we talked about that where they went to battle with these people where they went to the king and said, we just want to pass through. And they're like, no, if you even approach us, we're going to war. And okay, your funeral.
All right. Beyond the Yarden, in the land of Moab, Moshe undertook to declare this Torah, saying,
Okay, so declare this Torah. Does this mean that he's declaring Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy? No. This Torah is the set of instructions, right?
mm-hmm.
Torah means the to send to a direction, like it's instructions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yehovah, our Elohim, spoke to us in Horeb, saying, you have dwelt long enough at this mountain. Turn and set out on your way and go into the mountains of the Amorites and to all the neighboring places in the desert plain, in the mountains and in the low country and in the Negev and on the seacoast, to the land of the Canaanites, and to Lebanon as far as the great river, the river Euphrates.
And Euphrates is just Parat.
Okay. See, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which Jehovah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, to give them and their seed after them.
All right. So this is the promise that was given to Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, where they will, multiply greater than the stars in the sky, the sands in the sea, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. And I spoke to you at the time, saying, I am unable to bear you by myself. Yehovah, your Elohim, has increased you, and see, you are today as numerous as the stars of the heavens.
There we go.
Yehovah, Elohim of your fathers, is going to add to you 1,000 times more than you are, and bless you as he has spoken to you.
Okay, so Jehovah Elohim of your fathers is a callback to Exodus 3. Hold on, I'm switching to the scriptures version. And then okay. So Elohim said to Moshe, I am which I am, and he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you, and that's where people stop reading.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you keep reading, it says, Elohim said further to Moshe, thus shall you say to the children of Israel, Jehovah Elohim of your fathers, Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my remembrance to all generations. So his name is not I am. His name is Jehovah, which is the Elohim of the fathers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. All right. So verse 11 and now verse 12. Sorry.
How do I bear your pressure and your burden and your strife by myself? Choose men, wise and understanding and known to your tribes, and let me appoint them as your heads.
So Moshe is spreading out the burden of, judging between people because every time something went wrong, they would go to Moshe. Moshe's father-in-law was the first one to suggest to him, you should have men that you trust under you, and they should have men that they trust under him, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. And you answered me and said, the word which you have spoken to us to do is good. And I took the heads of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, leaders of thousands, and leaders of hundreds, and leaders of fifties, and leaders of tens, and officers for your tribes.
All right.
And I commanded your judges at the time, saying, when hearing between your brothers, judge righteously between a man and his brother, or the stranger who is with him.
Okay, so this is one of those things where you don't judge, based on stature, wealth, power, or whether you're native born, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of speculation or misunderstanding that, there's the special people who are allowed to get away with anything. And if you're not part of the special people, then you can be treated like, not human or whatever.
Right.
It's a bunch of nonsense. It's not scriptural at all. So,
Right. Do not show partiality in right ruling. Hear the small as well as the great. Do not be afraid of anyone's face, for the right ruling belongs to Elohim, and the case which is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I shall hear it.
all right. So that's what it would be. So you have like a local judge, and then if you can't, if the people who are in the argument say, no, we don't like that judgment, then they would go to the next person, next person, next person, and eventually to Moshe, who would then ask Elohim how he should deal with the situation. All right.
Mm-hmm. And I commanded you at the time all the words which you should do. Then we set out from Horeb and went through all that great and awesome wilderness which you saw on the way to the mountains of the Amorites, as Jehovah our Elohim had commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea.
Right. And the last book was called The Wilderness, which is from Devar, or from word, or from order.
And I said to you, you have come to the mountains of the Amorites, which Jehovah our Elohim is giving us. See, Jehovah your Elohim has set the land before you. Go up and possess it, as Jehovah Elohim of your fathers has spoken to you. Do not fear, nor be discouraged.
Yeah, don't be thrown back or lowered.
And all of you came near to me and said, let us send men before us, and let them search out the land for us, and bring back word to us of the way by which we should go up, and of the cities into which we would come. And
So sending spies. Yeah.
and the matter was good in my eyes, so I took 12 of your men, one man from each tribe. And they turned and went up into the mountains, and came to the Wadi Eshcol, and spied it out. And they took some of the fruit of the land in their hands, and brought it down to us, and they brought back word to us, saying, the land which Jehovah our Elohim is giving us is good.
This is important because the first time that he sent spies, the 12, they came back and they said, nope, we're not doing it. It's not worth it. And basically the only ones who survived out of those 12 spies is Yehoshua, Moshe's right-hand man, and Kalev. the dog. Those two are the only ones to survive out of those 12. Some by old age, some by rebellion.
But you would not go up and rebelled against the mouth of Yehovah your Elohim, and grumbled in your tents, and said, because Yehovah was hating us, he has brought us out of the land of Mitzrayim to give us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us. Where are we going to? Our brothers have made our hearts melt, saying, the people are greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to the heavens, and we saw the sons of the Anakim there too.
The Anakim are the encompassing.
Then I said to you, have no dread or fear of them. Yehovah, your Elohim is who is going before you. He does fight for you. According to all, he did it for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes.
And this is that same word where it says he does fight for you. He tears into them. He battles them. And this is the same word as bread.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, in context, he does bread for you.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. But he tears into them.
Mm-hmm. And in the wilderness where you saw how Yehovah your Elohim has borne you, as a man bears his son, in all the way that you went until you came to this place. Yet in this matter you are putting no trust in Yehovah your Elohim, who is going before you in the way to seek out a place for you to pitch your tents, to show you the way you should go, in fire by night and in a cloud by day.
Yeah, I don't know why it says pitch your tents. It just says a place to tent or a place to camp. The word pitch is like throwing me off. Sorry.
Okay.
It's just not there.
All right. And Yehovah heard the voice of your words and was wroth and took an oath, saying,
Okay, an oath is that same root word as the Sabbath. 7, oath, fulfill. Right?
Not one of these men of this evil generation shall see that good land of which I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, he shall see it, and to him and to his children I give the land on which he walked, because he followed Yehovah completely. And Yehovah.
Okay, so pause for a second. So when he says he followed Yehovah completely, it doesn't say anything about like he was righteous or anything else like that. It's just he believed Yehovah, right? So Yehovah says you're going to go in there, you're going to take the land, it's going to be given to you, and he believed Yehovah and walked in that faith, and that was what it was talking about for his righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Abraham. It says that he was righteous in his faith.
And Yehovah was enraged with me for your sakes, saying, you do not go in there either.
It's your fault he was mad at me.
Yehovah.
No, you got angry with them, frustrated with them because they were pissing and moaning about water, and then you were told to declare to the rock to bring forth water, or declare the rock, and said you struck the rock, and that's why he said you're not going, right, from the bitter waters.
Yehoshua the son of Nun, who stands before you, he shall go in there, strengthen him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit.
Okay, he's Moshe's right-hand man. He's taking over. He has the same name as the New Testament character known as the Messiah.
Mm-hmm. And your little ones and your children, who you say are for a prey, who today have no knowledge of good and evil, they are going in there, and to them I give it, and they are to possess it. But you, turn and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds.
Yeah, and that's translated as Red Sea in King James Version. But yeah, that's the appropriate one. Sea of Reeds, Yom Suf.
Then you answered and said to me, we have sinned against Yehovah. We ourselves are going up, and we shall fight, as Yehovah our Elohim commanded us. And when each one of you had girded on his battle gear, you were ready to go up into the mountain. And Yehovah said to me, say to them, do not go up nor fight, for I am not in your midst, lest you be smitten before your enemies.
Yeah, you had your chance. You lost it. If you try, you'll die.
So I spoke to you, but you would not listen, and rebelled against the mouth of Jehovah, and acted proudly, and went up to the mountain. Then the Amorites who dwelt in that mountain came out against you, and chased you as bees do, and drove you back from Seir to Hormah.
And those details were not in previous chapters, by the way.
And you returned and wept before Jehovah, but Jehovah would not listen to your voice, nor give ear to you. So you dwelt in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you dwelt.
There you go. That's the first chapter, breaking in. All right, I'm going to jump over to chat. I guess I closed the notes. Okay. Shout out to Voy, NDB, FE Nation, Chicago Artists, Good Times for All. Check out Good Times for All channel and the new video for the FE maps on Fortnite. Pretty cool. Chicago Artists, Nathan Reed, Dennis Elmerond, Effed Up World. I think I called out Boy. Yeah, that was the first one. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Dose of Reality. I think I got everybody. Lord Racer and Joseph Osborne. All right. Shabbat Shalom for y'all. I don't see. Doesn't look like there's any questions or anything today. So, Kimmy is enjoying watching with from the hot tub with aqua therapy.
Nice.
Ruby.
I need to come over and get in your hot tub.
Totally. Alrighty. I guess that's all. I guess we'll wrap it. Oh, I guess Good Times for All threw a link in there. I'm assuming that's to the Fortnite map video.
Okay. There you go. Cool.
If you see the person kick flipping, the kick flipping character is me in the, in the videos. You gotta slow them down though. It's like it happens so fast, Zach. Oh my gosh, I had to slow it down because he does an aerial pan within the game, and it's so fast.
Yeah.
But I just throw it down to 0.75 speed. Looks pretty good. Yep, totally good stuff. Oh, shout out to Georgia Street Bridge Retrofit and Restoration Project. Okay.
Awesome.
That's a long name.
Yeah.
All right. Cammy says, "Come on over."
I know. I got other stuff I got to do.
By the time you get there, she'll be very pruny. All right, y'all. Y'all bless. And the earth is still measured, lived on, built on, experienced, totally flat and stationary.
Yes. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Keep it flat. Take care. Much love. All that good stuff.